It's the Shy Life Podcast with me, Shynity.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life Podcast. We're out and about today, heading for Winchester, which is halfway between where I live and where my guests this week live. And can't tell you who they are yet, but they are very old friends of mine. We've made many films together. They were Sutton Park cast members. We share a love of old TV, and mainly British TV from 60s, 70s and 80s. If you hadn't noticed yet, yes, there's going to be two of them. They're a couple. Yes. Hopefully we're going to get a bit of a chat. We're going to find a pub in Winchester and we're going to reminisce, probably. I guess we are. Who knows? Hopefully it'll be relatively quiet where we're going to meet and we can talk about the old days. Oh yes. Makes us sound like we're 101, doesn't it? But well, I'm not, but not yet. 100, just yes. I'm only 99. Right, before I tell you a little bit more about them, I think it's time we play the theme tune. Okay.
Newport, Weybridge, Walton-on-Thames, Hersham, Esher, Surbiton, Wimbledon, Earlsfield, Clapham Junction, Vauxhall.
Hello again. Yes, right. Well, I'm off and about. I'm out to meet two friends of mine who, not seen in a while, but who I've known for over 20 years. I met them through my friends I met them through Nick, basically, who we've met already on a number of occasions. We were all fans of sci-fi, Doctor Who particularly, and other old television. I should probably introduce them before I go on. They are Troby and Lisa. Troby, more commonly known just as Andrew these days, but he was definitely Troby back in the day. You will have heard him on some of the Sutton Park clips that I've put up. He was the scientific-y type. Troby appeared in many episodes over the years and was often seen doing scientific-y things. We're all fans of old TV, and we'll be talking about a number of different things in this interview, but don't worry, we won't be doing it on the railway station platform, but we are going to be in a pub, so hopefully we'll find a nice quiet corner. Moving on.
The train now approaching platform 4 is the 10:16 South West train service to Salisbury, calling at Van Lane, Basingstoke, Overton, Whitchurch, Hampshire, Andover, Greatley and Salisbury.
Well, I'm on the train now. It's about 45 minutes on the train. Well, I actually had to change. You've heard me mention Woking before. That's where I interviewed my friend Joe, recently. No, recently. That's where I interviewed Joe recently. Get my teeth in. So the journey to Woking is about 10 minutes on the train from my stop. But Winchester is probably about an hour door to door, but you have to change at Woking and get on another train. Now, I'm on that train now. I'm just going through a station now, but we're not stopping here. A station called Brookwood. That's a very small station. There's an old cemetery at Brookwood, which I believe, there used to be an actual railway line that went from London to Brookwood just to take bodies. I might be wrong, but it's a spooky graveyard. I have visited a couple of times, but just because I like spooky graveyards. I'm a horror fan. What horror fan doesn't like exploring a spooky graveyard? I'm hoping to one day bump into Barnabas Collins, but there we go. Sorry, Dark Shadows reference. So, yes, just past Brookwood. We're heading for Winchester. Now, if I had a car, Winchester isn't that far from Salisbury. When I went back to see my parents and when I spoke to Nick recently, that's where I went. Sorry, I'm just trying to paint a map for you here. So, yeah, by car, Winchester and Salisbury are reasonably close, but by train, they're on totally different lines. You get to Basingstoke, and they go in totally different directions. If you go to Salisbury, beyond Salisbury you have places like Exeter, and you can get down to Cornwall, Devon and Cornwall, and all that sort of thing, Plymouth. But if you go to Winchester, you are heading for Southampton. You're heading for the coast. You can go to Portsmouth. In fact, the train that I'm on now, that's where it's heading ultimately, is Portsmouth. But Winchester isn't that far, as I say. It's about 45 minutes on this train, the second train, and about an hour from my house. And we'll be going through a station called Farnborough, and there are a few really little stations. Hook is one of them. Yes, Hook. It sounds like Hook should be in the spooky graveyard, shouldn't it? But yeah, there's a number of other stations. There's actually a nice canal path that goes along the bit of the track that I'm on at the moment. I've bought that myself. It's nice. I've recorded the odd episode of Sutton Park down there, but enough about that. But after Farnborough and after some of those little stations, which we're not going to be stopping at, it'll be Basingstoke. And then after Basingstoke, there's one other stop, I think, but then it's Winchester. And Winchester's, yeah, it's a nice city. Every time I go there, it seems to rain. I've filmed in Winchester quite a few times back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, there was a period after university for about 4 or 5 months when I didn't have a job, and I was applying for jobs, and I was living with my parents, and any unemployment money I got I just gave to my mum, and I kept some for buying camcorder tapes. And I was very lucky. I had a very unrepresentative period of unemployment, because back in those days I was trained to be a librarian. I was applying for jobs to be a librarian, and yeah, they didn't bother me. I just got on with
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder to please ensure you take all your personal possessions when leaving this service, especially those of you attending the air show today. Don't forget those cool bags.
Sounds like there's the air show at Farnborough today. I've been to that as well. When I worked for the Air Force, I got sent to Farnborough Air Show a couple of times. Needless to say, that's not where we're going today. Where was I? Yes, when I was unemployed, I was very lucky. They just let me get on with applying for jobs, and that was that really. It was the summer. My dad had his own business. He used to be a chartered surveyor and estate agent, or real estate agent, I don't know, is that right? That's for the American audience. Anyway, by the mid-90s, he was running his own business. Basically, he would search around finding houses for people who were living overseas and wanted to move over. So he'd do all the groundwork, all the legwork, finding all the details. He would act as their go-between. And during the time I was unemployed, back in 95, after I graduated, some days I'd just hop in the car with him. He'd be going off places. He'd drop me off in the town. I'd go off and do some Sutton Park if the weather was good. It seemed back in the 90s that actually it was sunny in the summer, which it never seems to be in the summer over here these days, although it's sunny today. Yeah, Winchester was one of the places that I went with him, and I did some Sutton Park, and I went back on a number of occasions, but it always seems to rain when I go to Winchester, so maybe it won't today. But yeah, I'll have to tell you more about my brief period of unemployment back in the 90s. I did get a job. I got a 6-month job after about 4 months of searching, and then after that 6-month job I got a 2.5-year job, which is when I met Callum and Joe, and then after that I got a full-time job, and I've stayed in this area ever since. So anyway, but yeah, I was going to feel a bit guilty that, you know, I was due the unemployment money. It was a lovely weather. I used to have to sign on a Tuesday around lunchtime, so I used to meet Nick, who at that time worked in the newsagents. So we'd meet for lunch, I'd sign on, do what I needed to do, and then I'd walk back across the fields about 4 or 5 miles, making episodes of Sutton Park as I went, doing silly voices and acting to myself. It was lovely. Dear, I was lucky to be in the situation where I was living with my parents, and that's the way it was. Very fortunate. Yes. So Winchester.
If you have recently joined us, just to confirm,
here he is again.
This is the Portsmouth Harbour service, now calling at Basingstoke, Mitchell Devon, Winchester, Eastleigh, Hedge End, Botley, Fareham, Portchester, Cosham, Healsey, Fratton, Portsmouth and Southsea, and Portsmouth Harbour. Next station stop will be Basingstoke, and will be reached in just under 15 minutes time. Please change at Basingstoke if you require services towards Andover, Salisbury and Exeter, and also Reading and destinations to the Midlands and north of England.
So, yes, we're not going to go too far in Winchester today. We're just going to find a pub to have a chat in. It's usually a relatively quiet pub, not like the pub that I spoke to Jerry in the other day, where it seems we had a party coming in. Still, it's a pub. People can do what they like and shout as much as they like. They don't have to respect the fact I'm recording a podcast. They really don't. So, I'm recording this on Saturday, the 16th of July. I won't be posting this until August. It's probably August when you're listening to this, unless you're listening to it in lots of months' time. I've got quite a way in advance with my interviews, so which is good. This is good. It means that the most important part of the episode is in the can, even though there is no can. So, what was I going to say? Oh yes, this is the day after episode 415 of the Smellcast was released, which has the second part of Toppy's interview with me. So, rather egotistically, I'm sitting on the train listening to Toppy and I chatting. It's quite surreal, it really is. That's why it's fun to be a podcaster. I would like to thank Toppy again for interviewing me, and he's been very supportive and very helpful when I've had questions about podcasting as well, so he's definitely my podcasting guru. Oh, the logo, the show art that he did for episode 415 had me in a spacesuit, which I loved. So all of, I don't know whether it will still be like this by the time this episode comes out, but as soon as I saw that show art, I was all over it. I was all my profile pages on Facebook and Twitter had me in a spacesuit. I think I can probably announce that this time next week I will have spoken to Toppy, interviewing him for the Shy Life podcast. So we have some plans. We have plans. Well, I have plans, and Toppy's agreed to them. Do you remember when the Shy Yeti scripts? I don't know if I would have recorded some more by then. Do you remember this? The script I did, the little play with Shy Yeti talking to the man from who wanted him to do a musical. Well, on my blog on www.shyyeti.com, I've done quite a few of those Shy Yeti scripts, and as I enjoyed doing the first one, I'm planning on recording the other ones with possibly special guests. Now, I'm thinking Nick Goodman, particularly my friend Nick, because he does a lot of acting. So he said definitely he's happy to play some of the other characters, because I can manipulate my voice and change my voice with the software, but it's not quite the same as having a totally different person. So yeah, Nick said he will, and I asked Toppy whether he would. Well, you see, you may not have seen the scripts, but Toppy appears in the Shy Yeti scripts, but I can't tell you too much about that because it's all very exciting. But I was thinking, when I record the scripts, it would be really nice if when I get to the episodes where Toppy appears, if I'm recording them, it would be so nice to have Toppy playing Toppy. It would make sense, because I'm only going to offend people if I start doing bad American accents. You know what it's like. When people try and do English accents, it never sounds right. And, you know, when English people try and do American accents, it never sounds right. Not really. And so there's a rare occasion where it's convincing and you don't realise. But, yeah, often it's very noticeable. So it wouldn't be the same anyway. Wouldn't be the same without Toppy playing Toppy. So anyway, he's very kindly said he'll play himself, as it were. So hopefully we'll be recording one of those episodes sometime. But I've got a load of other episodes before his appearance to record. We shall see. I better get on with some of that, I think. I'm going to go back to listen to my podcast, and the rest of the journey shall continue. And then Troby, Andrew and Lisa, that's not three people, Troby or Andrew and Lisa will be there, and we'll start talking. Yes. Rush. I have just arrived at Winchester Station. Not sure if Andrew and Lisa are here yet, but the train I just got off is really long, and now I've got to hike all the way up to the barriers. I do hope that they're not looking at my train and thinking, well, where is he? Was he on that train? It's quite possible. What should I say whilst I'm walking? But it's still nice. Clouds are very beautiful today. A bit of a fan of clouds. That's a fluffy cube. That's my train. Going. Too far from the barrier, but they're definitely going to be thinking, well, where is he? I keep striding on. They really need to run a bus service along this platform. So here we are. Here we are. I can't see them. No sign of them yet. Oh yes there is. I can see them. They're just arriving too. They just went under the underpass, but I haven't seen them emerge yet. So I have to go and search for them. Maybe they haven't been gotten by some part beastie. It's quite possible, you know. What do you think? I can see their reflection. How did you? Hello. Hello. How did you get there? Oh, is that a thing? It's a tunnel.
It's a tunnel.
I thought maybe you'd been gotten by a certain part beast.
No, I saw you in the distance.
I had to walk. I got off and I was like right down the end of the platform. I think they ought to have had a shuttle service along the platform.
No, we made it.
You only just survived.
Yes.
Hello, listeners. We're in a pub in Winchester. We're here with Andrew and Lisa. Say hello, Andrew and Lisa.
Hello, Andrew and Lisa.
Which one? Sorry, which one's which?
I must be Andrew because I have the beard.
Okay.
Yes, that must be I'm Melissa then.
Yay.
You don't have a beard,
I don't have a beard.
but you only hire one.
Yeah.
That's very reassuring. At least I know now. So,
I don't know how you tell on audio. But
I don't think. Well, as we were.
Ooh, look, I can see little wiggly lines going
Wiggly
up
lines,
there.
I
This
know.
is like attracted my attention straight away. I am now hypnotised by your phone.
I know.
Hello, phone.
Well, we were saying.
Hello, phone. You're a very nice phone.
We were saying earlier, talking about filming, how you can get away with telling people where you're wherever you say you are, and not necessarily the truth. So, you know.
Oh, the magic of, well, I would say television, but most of our stuff's not been on television. But
It's been on a television.
if you tell somebody that it's in like London and you filmed it in Salisbury, they'll believe it.
Well, because this podcast is coming live from Las Vegas, isn't it? So. Don't say
There's no going me agreeing with you.
This is where we have to.
This is where the comedy lies.
You have to
Oh
quickly.
yes, it's last.
This
Do you
is
want to
live.
do that again?
This episode is live from Mars.
In that case, I wouldn't be able to breathe.
Okay, should we just go live from Las Vegas?
That'll do. Oh yes, it is.
I
Look,
can't breathe.
too much nitrogen in the atmosphere. Yeah, so I'll get my roulette wheel out.
If you will.
You've never seen it. It's a well-kept secret.
Well, you know.
Do you want it all on red?
Yes. Yes, please.
Clack.
No, I think.
0-0. Sorry.
Did I win?
No.
Oh, I've lost all my money.
Yes.
You're going to retire to Mars now, aren't you?
You can pay it back over easy instalments.
It's going to be like 500% interest.
Tronta Passanta. Oh, hello, the police are coming.
Oh no! It's because we entered the.
They're actually coming through the middle of the pub.
It's because we entered the Mars atmosphere without being officially allowed to.
I think it's PC Warren wants to come and muscle in.
Do you think?
No.
You don't. I was going to say something about Mars then.
Life on
do you
Mars?
think? Oh no! Do you think the police were coming because we are sort of basically saying that we're somewhere and we're not? It's like we're not giving.
Oh, I see. Trade
Descriptions
Trade
Act.
Prescriptions
Yeah.
Act.
Yes, that's right.
No, I think they're coming because there's a punch up in the
I told you stop doing.
in the town.
I thought.
Is this a town? Are we in a town? Or is it a city?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I did tell you not to allow Lisa to fight with people again.
Oh, she only fights,
Lisa,
she only
please
fights
don't-
for money.
Please don't fight, do you?
Sorry.
Dear.
Like having a scrap, don't you? Dear?
Right. Oh, I was going to
Why are
ask.
you going
what-
red on audio?
She's not. She's going green.
Oh.
You couldn't tell, and you won't know. Nobody will know whether we're telling the truth or not. They'll just have to believe what we say.
Oh, I see. Just nonsense.
We're giving away our truth.
Oh, you want us to lie? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well,
So we can actually. When I ask you some questions, we probably ought to tell the real versions. When I say like, how do we meet? Saying in 1723 in Poland or something.
in Samuel Pepys's
Derby.
back garden.
Oh, you were
And
telling me about.
I will
Oh.
tell you about Samuel Pepys's back garden one day. It's a disgusting place.
I don't know. It's going to have a unclean rating on this episode.
You for unclean.
Well, you have to decide when you go on iTunes whether you're going to be clean or not clean.
Oh,
And so far, all our episodes have been clean.
Oh, really?
We haven't said a real. Well, I think I did say bastard once, but it was in the context of a story. So.
Well, that could be your surname.
Yes, yeah.
There are people called that, aren't there?
There is, yeah.
There you go.
But you can slip the odd one in, and iTunes don't notice. iTunes
No.
don't notice.
Right. Okay. Ask us a question.
So where do we meet really?
Where did we meet really?
Mr. Andrew first.
Meet. Where did I first meet you? I'm not even sure I can remember.
You're not sure I ever have. Who are you?
Who are you, strange man? Well, it would have been to do with Ray Face Shift, probably. Nick's
I don't know when Ray Faceshifts actually.
1991.
Oh well, I'm sure we met before. Wasn't it to do with watching Doctor Who around Nick's house? Whether it,
Well,
yeah.
I'm sort of counting that as the lead up there.
Yeah.
Because there was the Salisbury local group, which
Yeah, I never-
ran from 1986 to about 1990ish. But you didn't go to those, did you?
Well, I knew Danny March, and he didn't go to that either. So
But then we started to sort of congregate around Nick Goodman's house. Much to Nick's surprise, I think. That, you know,
just found he just came home from work. And
let's choose a house, just knock on the door, go in there. So it ultimately, as with most things, it's all through our Doctor Who fandomness.
And we went to
If that's such a
we
word.
started going to Longleat. Like that was yes, we did.
Yeah.
Longleat.
But then Nick started doing Ray Face Shift, his tape, and then you. Now, when did you do the audio recording stuff? Because we would record episodes of Sutton Park at that point, wouldn't we? I remember
we did
playing a few parts on audio for you.
Would that have been for Roland Quaver? Or that's possibly?
Because I remember the Mavis E.D. Fatima
Oh, that
stuff.
was for Spectrum. Then.
Spectrum, that's
Yeah,
it. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting confused there.
That would have been
That would have been 91.
I can't even remember what came first, Roland Quaver.
And then we did a Blake 7 video in that would have been 92, 91, 92, where you were I have to be careful how I said the bounty hunter, not the bunty hunter.
I was in my expensive
in your
bin bag
costume with your silver foil gun. And I
which
played,
I found quite recently.
and I played one of the Travises. I played the Brian Croucher Travis, and Nick was the Stephen Grief Travis. And I also played Slave.
But what about Genesis of the Wogans?
That would have been. Oh, I know when that was, because that was. When was the pilot episode shown? August Bank Holiday 1991. Because Warren and Andrew Candish went round to his house to watch it halfway through the filming. And you played Harry.
Yeah.
And so we're talking early 90s for all of this stuff. Which is before I would have met Lisa.
Yeah.
You came in on the scene 1993, didn't
Yes.
you?
Yes. 1993 in.
Sutton Park.
No.
Prisoner in the Sun, was that the first thing you
Prisoner in
did?
the Sun was the first filming I did. Yeah, I met Nick and some of the others at a comic mart. Not a sign-in,
Sign in.
a comic mart, and then I came met Paul about a month or two later, and then I got invited
First
to
time I
be
met-
in Prisoner in the Sun.
Yeah, first time I met you would have been then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. so sort of July, August 1993.
But ultimately, all that comes through Nick again,
Yes.
doesn't it? So, Nick's magic book of names.
Of names.
Every time anybody would write in and order his tape, he'd write their name and address down. And I don't know what he did with all this information. But,
He's probably got it in a secret bunker somewhere ready
but
to
then,
blackmail.
did you know Elaine before that? Or
No,
not?
I only met Elaine at the site.
At the site. Right.
There was something because
I didn't go to many of those.
What are your memories of being? I've used a few clips of you on Sutton Park, Andrew, and do you have any particular memories of episodes that you filmed? Or
I always used to enjoy Sutton Park, and because it was basically an excuse to improvise and be silly.
yeah,
But I used to remember I quite liked being the sort of, it's not so far from the truth anyway, the sort of mad scientist character version of myself.
this is how I did when I was doing an intro to this. I did describe you as being the sciencey person.
A bit sciencey.
Yeah, a bit sciencey.
So one of my favourite ones is the one when we had the rogue Santa Claus. And we had to, it was full of evil and it was 100 foot tall or something, wasn't it? Basically achieved by holding it up by its leg up to the camera and behind some trees, in front of some trees, so it looked huge. And we'd set up an experiment to get all the evil out of it. And it was actually loosely based on some real science that I sort of vaguely did at the time. But you had this giant ball that you sucked the evil out of us. You ended up with a giant silver ball. And the idea was to do fractional distillation on it, so you could slowly get off the evil of it. And we did this by sticking the giant ball on top of a Kaplunk tube and then having a load of small silver balls come out the other end. And all these silver balls escaped and I think caused havoc.
And we had haggis in one episode.
Oh, I was attacked by a hairy haggis on Pepperbox Hill. That was just flailing around acting, really. But
there was an episode that I took some clips from. There was a pink elephant.
Amethyst, the elephant. That was my Sapphire and Steel fan. Well, I was going to say period, but I'm still in it because I still love Sapphire and Steel. So any excuse to do anything that was.
Crispin was quite enamoured by Amethyst.
Yeah. Oh, and I also remember a lot of. I had an electronics kit that we wired up to make lights flash and things like that, and then connected my what would have been Amiga computer to it, and we somehow generated a hole in time to go back to the origins of Sutton Park and change history or something.
I think it was also the same effects you used. You did a title sequence.
Oh, I had some morphing effects. That's right. And I turned Harry into Robin, and neither of whom were amused by that. I seem to remember. They were both terribly insulted, I think. But it was just the days of mucking about with early computer graphics. And the nice thing about that machine was you could actually connect it to a video recorder, so you could do a few strange effects. These days I don't really sort of play about with that, but at this time it was quite fun to just muck about with a bit of technology and see what I could do with it. So it was an excuse to play in the woods being silly, but also learn a thing or two about sort of graphics and effects.
Did you do you must have done an episode with Lee at some stage.
I did. I remember Lee because I remember being really impressed by his cartoon thing where he'd made a comic book or a book and it opened up and it turned into like Captain Pugwash animation. And you'd pull tabs and people's eyes and things would roll, and I just remember thinking that because he was quite a talented artist, wasn't he? And I remember being very impressed. Just it was quite a simple thing, but it looked effective on the screen, and it was that thing. Although we're being silly, if you put a bit of effort into it, I think it sometimes showed. Not all the time, but I quite like doing things that were a bit visual, with flashing lights or things like that. So his sort of animation style was rather good, I thought.
Nick is helping me preserve episodes, and I took some clips recently of the episode we filmed some dinosaurs, and plastic dinosaurs trying to rule the world by biting people's fingers. And there's a cliffhanger, and you can see that you're not quite sure what I'm going to stop building. I'm building it up, and you're kind of like, I keep building it up even more.
Well, I would have this thing of like, you would. It was a fine line really between believing in the world you were in. So I'd always try and act to the puppet that was talking to me, but also being aware, because Lee's character was the viewer, wasn't he? So there was this dimension that we knew it was it wasn't real as well at the same time. So it was quite a knife edge sometimes about which way you go with, and I'd sort of sometimes look you in the eye and not know where you were going with it. But that was quite exciting.
I remember because Lee was one of the few people who actually watched old episodes. I think he kind of expected some people to know him as well as he felt when he met Elaine. She didn't know him from Adam, really.
Yeah.
And he was a bit like, oh, she was a bit standoffish. She doesn't know who you are.
Who are you?
You don't know. She doesn't know who you are.
Because I remember you doing these lists of how many appearances people had made, and for a while it did become. I wanted to get up in the top 10. I wanted to do a bit more.
You were.
I was fairly up. I was nowhere near like Robin or Harry.
Yeah, but although Robin left sort of halfway through the series, so
I just like the idea that I wasn't the top 3, but I was in the top 10. I'd done enough.
Yeah, Nick was probably in it. I can't even remember who was still filming quite near the end.
Because when was the last sort of regular filming? Because
we were filming in 2000, but I should say 1999 was probably the last really when it was still.
Because my sort of main period was mid-90s when I did most. I did the odd bit. And if we were doing other films, you'd generally grab us for 5 minutes and do a bit extra anyway.
Some of the stuff that I've picked up recently seems to come from around May '96, and that was a period where I was waiting to start working in Camberley.
Yeah, because you were
so
free,
kind of
so you were free.
Around,
And I'd sort of come up on a Sunday, and we'd have a good sort of four hours or so, and you'd get quite a lot done. Because I remember sort of you'd film it and then you go back and watch what you'd done, and you go, well, some of it's a bit rubbish, but that bit's all right.
Lisa, do you have any particular memories of the? We were talking earlier about you being chased around the maze with a axe on a string, or no, someone was chasing you with an axe and floating
it was meant to be a disembodied axe, but it was in fact an axe on a piece of string. I was being chased by a Crystal Palace maze, much to the bemusement of other people coming the other way, wondering what the hell I was up to. I seem to remember, because we were at Crystal Palace and you got the big transmitter there, it was affecting your camera as well, so I'm not sure. I think it affected the
There was
picture.
a buzz on the soundtrack or the picture or something.
I also didn't obviously do as much as Andrew, because it wasn't as random as much, but I did do one where I had a radioactive coat or something.
No, I've not heard that one.
I had a silver coat and it was radioactive, and I can't remember how that worked out. I do remember, I think I was in a relationship with George, or I adopted him or something.
The
Santa Claus.
The inflatable Santa
not the real
Claus.
George. Hello, George, if you're listening. That's the real George, not the Santa Claus George, of course.
The Santa Claus George was real.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean.
Hello, Lisa, it's me.
Oh, George, you're here.
I'm George, the Santa Claus.
Goodness, you shrunk.
Oh, this is awkward, isn't it?
I've always thought of you. Always do.
That's all
George, don't do that.
That's all that really sticks out.
Coming today.
Yeah, that's all that really sticks out. I don't really remember.
But it's not all that's sticking out now. George, put it away.
I do remember why we were filming the Blake 7 thing that we did, which was never released and has been lost in the archives. I got told off because I was doing something in the background when I should have been quiet. We were acting and we were making a bit too much noise while they were trying to film something.
I'm acting, dear.
So,
this is acting.
Yes, that's sort of it, really.
Do you have any other memories of filming, whether it be in Sutton Park or in any of the films that you were in with Nick? Or?
Well, we're certainly going to have to dredge up something for Prisoner. No, not Prisoner. I haven't talked about that.
Tide of Freedom.
Tide of Freedom. That's the one. Because that's the one we did twice. Nick directed it
The
the second time, and Keith did the first version, and they were 5 years apart.
Yes.
One was 1994 and 1999.
I was quite hunky in the first one, but I got on weight by the second one.
Oh, you were still hungry. Always hungry.
That's Lisa saying that, not me. So the memories of that have got a bit sort of jammed together in my head.
You're doing a commentary.
We're doing a DVD commentary for it at the end of August, hopefully. Not sure when it's going to be out. But I do remember the cliff lift sequence, because Nick wanted my character to go in the cliff lift and go down, I guess. But to achieve that, and to make it look anyway sort of filmic, you have to film it several times. So the first attempt, Nick and I got in the cliff lift and went down, so you've got shots of me from the point of view inside it. And then he said, well, I need an external shot of you. Obviously the camera then has to be outside, which meant me climbing back up the cliff and going to the man on the door of it, going and trying to think of something to say, and saying, I enjoyed that ride in your cliff lift so much, I'm going to go down again. And he gave me a queer look, and I went down, and then Nick filmed it from the beach this time. So it looks very filmic, except I just felt terribly embarrassed. Because I felt I had to justify that I was going for a second trip in the lift. I'm sure the bloke wouldn't have recognised me had I not drawn attention to it. But that was one of those things that, to make it look good, you suddenly realise, I've got to do it all over again, and now I feel slightly embarrassed.
It was much wetter the second time.
Is that the camera lens with all the rain on
that's
it?
That's because
stuff?
we ended up filming a lot of it in October. So it was, it was. Yeah, Nick was fussing a little bit. Nick, was fussing a little bit because there was water on the lens, and I pointed out that was probably because it was raining.
But that's the one you say where Nick, to get a shot of, it's near the end when they're having the sort of argument or whatever at the end. To get the shot of everybody, Nick had to climb over the.
We didn't have to climb.
Well, he didn't have to, but Nick climbed over the railings.
So he was on the outside.
So he was on the outside of the thing with a sheer drop of water below him, and it's blowing a bit of a gale, and you're going, I can't believe he's doing this.
He's going to kill himself.
But there are reasons why you have health and safety. That's possibly one of them. But yes, that was putting safety behind your art there. I think that one.
In his film Run Faster, he made you played a Lady of the Night, didn't you?
I did. A Lady of the Night.
No, sorry, Lisa, I was talking about you. No, you didn't. Were you even in that one? You weren't in that one.
I did the titles for it, and that was about it. I just got to look. I didn't.
I got to do scenes with these.
You did. I think you ended up. Well, I don't think you actually killed me, but I lured you somewhere else, and I ended up getting killed by a piece of masonry.
Yeah, I got.
And you got plague
disease or something.
Is that the one where you've got this white shirt covered in blood?
Yeah, he wanted me to not wear a shirt and be all. Shall I?
Oh no!
I'm not doing that. And now I look back and I'm like, I should have done that. Might be my only chance. No one's going to ask me to do it now. But at the time, it's like, I'm taking my shirt off.
Oh, that's right. I remember you sort of look like sort of the Incredible Hulk, wasn't it? Because the shirt was all ripped or something, wasn't it?
That's when we filmed at High Street, Kensington, and we came out of the tube station, and it as it was then, a very dilapidated looking police box, and we all got terribly excited, and Michelle was there that day, and she was completely bemused by we were getting excited. It's a police box. Yeah, but it's a police box.
But that's you with the knife in your boot, isn't
yes.
it?
Yeah.
And you have to get the knife out, and it's a sort of wobbly.
It was one of those plastic children's ones.
A jubber knife. A joke rubber knife. As opposed to a jubber rogue knife. Yeah.
It's one of
They're
those ones
just
that went
rubbish.
back in the handle when you pushed it, so that it looked like you could. But it was in my boot, and just as I went to get it out, a policeman came along and said, "No, it's a policeman go." But
And
it
that-
was such a rubbish-looking knife that I don't think you would.
And that's
ever
when you were
believe it was real.
outside New Scotland Yard.
Yes.
with all
No,
the-
that was Run Faster Than the World.
Yes.
Oh, that is.
Oh yes, that is Run Faster Than the World.
That is the one.
Yes,
I remember.
yes, that was
I
a
wasn't
different
there.
one. That was a different day. Yeah, and everybody had bags, and Nick wanted to film the sign going around above Evelyn and Martin's heads, which was quite a difficult thing to do because Evelyn is not the tallest person in the world, so he had to get down quite low. So I ended up with all the bags outside a building just down the road from New Scotland Yard, with lots of policemen walking past, and me giving them increasingly embarrassed looking smiles as I tried to think, what happens if they come over and say what all of these bags here for? I'm not a terrorist, honestly. So yeah.
When we filmed a bit earlier, that we filmed Evil Trophy. I remember we would travel the two locations were right at the other opposite end of London. We were filming at your house, and then we were filming at Elaine's house. And
Yes.
it was like a 2 or 3 hour ride between the two locations on the underground.
Yeah, yes, it took about an hour, nearly 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were at one end and she
Yes.
was at the other end. Yeah, and it was I also remember filming one scene when my gran was in the corner, just looking bemusedly
Was she meant
on.
to be there?
No, but we didn't want to move her, so we just shot round it. So yeah.
My
Goodness
gran-
knows what she thought.
My grand sitting in the background in some episodes of Southern Park as well. Right, moving on slightly. I know you watch a lot of old TV. Can you tell me some of the series you are watching at the moment?
The series is.
Obviously, they're not series made now. They're series made 40 years ago. But any recommendations?
Oh, where do we start? We have got so much on the go at the moment. What have we? Well, let's start with what we've just finished. We have just finished series 3 of Sergeant Cork.
It's very good. You should get that one.
What year are we talking?
Sergeant Cork is 1964, so it stars
Black and
John Barry
Yeah, and William Gould.
and a very young William
Very
Gould.
young William Gould.
But as with all these things that we're watching, you do get an awful lot of very good guest stars.
Is it all,
But it's-
is it all existing?
Everything of Sergeant Cork exists, as far as we can tell. It's Victorian London detective thing, and he's part of
CID.
CID. So it's just at the point at which things like fingerprinting are coming in.
Photographs.
But it was created by Ted Willis, best known for Dixon Dock Green, and
It's already been running about 16 years at this
about
point.
300 years of Dixon Dock Green had been going. And you've written about this in your own blog a few times, haven't you? That you can tell a Ted Willis written episode because the villain's always a toff. It's always somebody upper class,
Beyond, respectable.
yeah, who's got this veneer of respectability, who always turns out to be
A rotter.
a rotten apple. That is actually an episode title of Dixon Dock Green,
Yes,
The
yeah.
Rotten Apple. But yeah, as soon as you get some sort of big house in the country with this respectable son or something like that, you know that's the one that done the murder or something. It is. But for a series which it ran for about five years worth. It ran a long time.
Yeah, it ran a long time.
But nobody remembers it. But you will have heard a joke about it and perhaps not realised it. Because if you know Carry On Screaming, there's the character in there, Sergeant Bun. And that's just a piss take of... sorry, I'm allowed to say that. That's just a parody of Sergeant Cork. And it took me a long time to work that one out. And it had to be pointed out to me.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, I see. But again, you've got great guest stars. You've got
We had one a few weeks ago with Roger Delgado in.
Yeah.
The Master, with an accent.
Roger Delgado playing a French policeman, which is perhaps unusual. Peter Sallis pops up at least twice.
Yeah, it's been 3 times.
He's playing a sort of priest, isn't he? Because there's one of the episodes where Sergeant Cork is ill or something, and they have to hurriedly write in a character that to replace him. So they've got this priest played by Peter Sallis, and there is this sort of knowing line about a priest who's also a sleuth. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Which, of course,
It's an allusion to Father Brown.
Father Brown. So
Is it filmed live or filmed?
there are certainly enough mistakes with camera work every now and then for me to think that they didn't have much in the way of editing. I don't think it's live, but it's pretty much.
You don't stop the cameras unless unless the whole set falls down.
I don't know what the production sort of schedule is, but you're probably doing one a week, which is why when Sergeant Cork gets a cold or something like that, you hurriedly have to rewrite it. And that is obvious.
You notice that in 60s Doctor Who, where doctors having to lie down for an episode.
I'm not in this one.
William Martin was on holiday, it's not just him, it's everybody, isn't it?
So we've just finished series 3 of that, and we are going to go on to series 4 at some time, but in the meantime we're going to do Mr. Rose, which is from slightly later. Mr. Rose is what, mid 60s, mid to late, slightly later 60s. That's William Mervyn,
The War Machines.
who's in the War Machines. He's also a judge in Crown Court sometimes.
He's also the current.
And he's also in All Gas and Gators.
Yeah, and he's also the current set designer of Doctor Who's father.
Yeah, William Mervyn is Michael Pickwood's dad. But William Mervyn as Mr. Rose first turns up in a series we've not seen yet, is it? There's one before that. Then he turns up in It's Dark Outside,
Which is very weird.
which is strange and quite grim. The first episode takes a really dark turn. But that's his co-star is Keith Barron, thank you.
And
Lisa
Anthony
remembers
Ainley.
names. Then in the second series is Anthony Ainley, but there's only 2 Anthony Ainley episodes that exist, so it's a bit hard to tell what's going on with his character. He does kung fu, so if you can imagine Anthony Ainley doing kung fu or karate or something like that, it's very, very strange to see. The title sequence consists of him doing like this sort of kick with his foot. And there's just this one shot of Anthony Ainley's foot. We put it on Facebook a few months ago, and whose foot is this? And nobody guessed it.
Anthony Ainley in Spider's Web.
Not seen that yet.
No, I've not seen that yet. I've been wondering. I bought the
It's on the list of possible things. Yeah.
I bought the Strange Report because
that's
Annika,
isn't it?
Yeah, and that's quite interesting. But there was a lot of these things. I start the first couple of episodes and then get distracted by something else that arrives.
Yeah. But yeah, one of the weird It's Dark Outside you'd probably like. It's got Newell, what's his name? Patrick Newell, who sees some sort of psychic, and people go to him, and I presume he pretends. It's never quite specified. He sort of pretends they're sort of departed loved ones and sends messages, most of which consists of send me money, basically, so you can tell what's going on. He puts this weird voice on when he's sort of in this trance. But yeah, seeing sort of Mother from the Avengers playing this part is quite fun. But yeah, later on then Mr. Rose sort of retires and goes to live in some village. We haven't actually got around to watching it yet, so I could be wrong, but it does strike me that weird stuff seems to follow him about. But I think this later stuff is a bit more whimsical, because we were talking to somebody who said compared to It's Dark Outside, it's not quite as grim.
Have you seen Thriller? Or any of those?
No, I don't think. Have we? No.
That's one of those things where I bought the first season and then kind of forgot about it, and then noticed it was all out for about the same price as the ones. So I've bought it again to get the whole.
I mean, we've done the first series of Shadows.
Yeah.
That's 75.
Yeah, I've got all. Yeah. There's 3 seasons of that.
Yeah,
we've got all of that.
Yeah, and we've done quite a few Tales of the Unexpected recently as well. So we quite like this sort of one-off, weird sort of play things.
Around the time I was starting to write short stories again, I picked up the whole box set of Tales, and
Because what's the last one we did? That was the one with the bloke with the orchids, wasn't it?
Yeah, Richard Johnson
Yeah.
murders his wife and buries her under the
Greenhouse.
conservatory
Yeah.
floor, and then goes to America and gets a letter in America to his wife saying that they're going to renovate the conservatory and dig up the
So
floor.
we'll dig up the floor. Yeah.
Well, I like the one about the landlady who has all has the guests, but she only has like 3 guests, and they're all sitting up there. She stuffed them, and I think
I
that's.
think we've seen that one. Yeah.
Now we do the twist, right? That's a Roald Dahl. That's definitely a Roald Dahl.
Yeah, we don't believe him when he says the stories are true.
Yes. Good evening. Or is that more like?
That's more Alfred Hitchcock.
I was going to say that's Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, my impression of Roald Dahl is Alfred Hitchcock. So, good evening. Well, I wrote this story, which is based on real events. So the names have been changed, but everything else is true. Yeah, not so sure about that, mate. And, so yeah, we've been doing some of those. We finished On the Buses, which we're not proud of, but we have finished On the Buses.
How many
We're never going
seasons?
to about 600.
We watched one episode of Don't Drink the Water
Oh, yes,
and vowed
and-
never to watch anymore.
Yes, did you know there's a spin-off from On the Buses where Blakey and his sister, played by Pat Coombs, go to a hotel in... Not a hotel, it's a sort of apartment complex in Spain, which has got Derek Griffiths in it, playing a Spaniard, if you can imagine that.
Yeah, but he's mixed heritage.
Oh, right, yeah. His
He's
father
meant
had
to
a
be-
bike.
He's a Moor.
Derek Griffiths is in Coronation Street at the moment. So he's I don't know who he's playing. He's just somebody. I haven't watched it for ages, and I started watching it again.
But it's one of those things where the first episode is an extra on the Buses set to entice you to buy the rest, I presume, and it utterly fails to do that. Shall we watch any more? No, I don't think so.
So we're watching. So we just started Heidi High. So
Oh, yeah,
we've done
Heidi
2
High.
episodes of Heidi High. And that's our next comedy that we're watching at the moment.
But yeah, we've got sort of quite a few things. We've got New Scotland Yard.
Yeah, that's good. That's
We've
good
got
series.
Callan. Callan, we've just gone into colour with. We're doing Public Eye.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We've done 2 episodes of that so far.
And we've done... what else
And we're
have we
doing
got?
Gideon of the Yard.
We've sort of
which is-
stalled a bit on Cold It, haven't
Yes.
we?
I don't even know where that is now.
Yes, we have this pile of DVDs, and once new ones arrive, things on the halfway down tend to disappear for a year or 2.
We're digging there for something else and go, oh, there it is. But there's an absolute, if you Cold It is a really, really good series, and we've just seen the episode. Well, the last episode we saw was an episode called Tweedledum
That's the Bernard Kay.
with Bernard Kay, in which I
Bernard Kay
highly
one,
recommend. It's very hard going, but it's very good. And there's a Pat Troughton episode
Oh,
where
there's
he's
Pat
trying to do
Troughton playing a-
he's trying to do an accent.
Is it Irish?
Well, I don't know.
I think he's Irish.
But he's a priest.
Irish priest,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could
But
be
the
Scottish.
weird thing about Cold
Or Welsh.
Bits is that you get guest stars in for one episode, but it's a prison camp and nobody ever leaves.
You never see them again. Though.
But next week they're suddenly not there, but nobody escapes.
I remember seeing that episode of The Survivors where Patrick Troughton's on a boat, but he's killed off. And you keep thinking, oh, he's not going to be killed off. He can't have killed off Patrick Troughton like in the first 10 minutes. He's obviously wouldn't have just come in to do 10 minutes, but he doesn't show up again, and he has been killed off. It's not right.
I've just got Secret Army, which we might find hard to watch because we've watched quite too much Hello. And Kessler as well, which apparently isn't as good as Secret Army, but the completist in me told me I must buy it.
Yeah, the Rivals of Sherlock Holmes has certainly gone into our Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And if you only watch one episode, you should watch 2 episodes. You should watch the Carnacki episode with Donald Pleasance.
Oh, Donald Pleasance playing Carnacki, who's a ghost hunter. Yeah. So Michelle Detrice is haunted by an invisible horse, which sounds bonkers, but is absolutely wonderful piece of work. I mean, to get Donald Pleasance to do any TV series is quite an achievement.
Yeah, and the other episode you should watch is the Max Carriados one with Robert Stevens playing a blind detective, and he's absolutely superb. Yeah. It's completely different from the way he plays Adam Brown in Box of Delights.
So all these are stories written around the time
of Sherlock Holmes.
That Sherlock Holmes was being written, but they're characters that everybody's utterly forgotten now.
I was actually going to say, it doesn't surprise me too much that Donald Pleasance is playing a ghost hunter looking after a ghost horse, because I have seen him in a film called Phenomena, a Dario Argento film from the 80s, where he has to act with a monkey who has a knife, and there are lots of flies, and one of them is a detective and helps find a body. It's very, very strange. Donald Pleasance did some quite strange films in the 80s, so yeah, I'm sure that was quite a heavy day for him, right?
Because the character Karnaki is quite interesting. There's about a dozen original Karnaki stories, but they're out of copyright. So if you wanted to publish those original stories, you could, as far as I understand it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But if you want to write original Karnaki stories and sell them, you can do that too. Which explains why Andrew Cartmel wrote a Karnaki story with second Doctor Jamie and Zoe. It's called Foreign Devils, and we've just tracked down a copy. That was published. It's one of those novellas done in about the year 2000-ish.
Yeah, 14 or so years ago.
And of course, we have the problem now that when I read the description of Karnaki, I'll be just going, well, that's just Donald Pleasance playing that part now. So,
well, he's a young man in it.
Yeah,
so
well, a young
it'd be a young
Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance.
Well, in the other series nobody's remembered, but we have to utterly recommend, is The Mind of Mr. J.G. Reader from 1969.
Yeah.
1971, I believe.
Yeah. It just straddles both sides of spearheads both.
Yeah, Hugh Burden as Mr. Reader, and it's sort of, when is it? Sort of Edwardian period, or slightly later.
Victoria, actually.
I'm trying to think.
Sure.
Yeah,
it might be
it's a bit vague, but it's one of those series that we would utterly love to see remade. I mean, they've remade things like Father Brown and things like that, but Mr. Reader would be a wonderful series. I don't want to say too much because it's one of those things, just go out there and find it. But there's one episode with very young Colin Baker in it. He's some sort of banker or something, is it? Something like that. We did we know he was going to be in it? I don't think we did. We went, oh, hang on, that's Colin Baker. So we did this thing that we always do, that if somebody unexpectedly turns up, we'd take a photo of it and send it to them on Twitter or Facebook or something, and we got a reply from Colin saying, oh, is that out on DVD? I remember that. And it's that thing that you'd be surprised how many actors, you tell them something's on DVD and they go, oh, I didn't even know that was available. I don't know whether we ever tracked down a copy of it and watched it, but
it just shows
bloody marvellous series.
It shows that they can't contact, or like we were saying earlier, before we were recording, about a particular TV series not being available, presumably because an actor or actress had said they didn't want it released, but then they were, like you just said there, he didn't even know it was out. So
well, we had that with Sam Kelly, didn't we?
Yes.
Where there was an episode of Crown Court where Sam Kelly turns up in episode 1. So I went, oh, that's Sam Kelly. It's a nice shot. We'll send it to Sam Kelly, and he went, oh, what's that from? He went, Crown Court. Oh, yeah, I was in that, wasn't I? Is that out? Yes, it's on DVD. Oh, right.
So actually some companies aren't bothered at all about it.
That was directed by Wojtek, wasn't it? Because it's one of those ones where it just comes up, it says directed by Wojtek, or Wojciech, I suppose, because it turns out to be some Polish director, but he was only ever credited with the one name, which is very rare in television. Normally everybody's got two names. But
we just imagine him being like one of the robots in Look Around You.
Oh, there was a robot in Medibot. Yeah, there was the robot in Look Around You.
He's like a directing robot.
Yeah, like Wojciech. But yeah, so, and there have been other people that you just say, oh, well, we've been watching you in such and such. Oh, Michael Cashman.
Michael Cashman, yeah.
Of course, Michael Cashman.
Yeah, we watched. We've been watching a series called Gideon's Way, which is based on a series of books by John Creasy.
And yeah, we've got the books.
Early 60s. Michael Cashman.
Turns up as
the first episode, but it's the way the I think it's
first one broadcast or first one recorded.
It's the first one recorded because it's in production order on there, which is really annoying. But it doesn't matter because there's not a continuing story, so you can watch it whatever you like. But it's still annoying. So we took a picture of it.
So it's Darren Nesbitt, a young John Hurt,
very young John Hurt, who may have just come out of drama school, and
Michael Cashman.
And so you took a picture of it and sent it to him, and he went,
Oh, that's me. Oh, I played. What's the name of the character?
Sid.
Sid?
Can't remember
Sid.
what the surname
Yeah.
is, but-
And he goes, "Oh, is that out on DVD?" It's getting tedious at this
Take
point. Does
mission.
nobody know what's available?
But yeah, Gideon of the Yard is another one you can add to the list because it's again, it's got a good set of cast, good set of guest characters, and the last one we saw had Alfie Bass in it as somebody who was going to throw a bomb at the German Chancellor when he was over for a state visit.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, he takes some gelignite home
Yes,
in a thermos flask or something.
Yeah.
Don't try this at home, kids.
I had a phase when I was reading in my Agatha Christie stage. I also read some John Creasy. I think I don't know if I read much Gideon, but I read some Inspector West. Who's another of his characters.
They're actually really hard-hitting books because I tracked down an omnibus edition of, I know it's the first 3 Gideon books, mainly because it's got a police box on the front of it. But, and
nice.
I've been flicking through that, and I also got it on Kindle as well. And I've been reading it, and I've actually stopped reading it. The next bit's about child murder,
All right.
and it's really quite nasty. He doesn't actually, for somebody who was writing in the sort of early 50s, he's not pulling any punches.
I think he might be right in saying that he lived in Salisbury or near Salisbury. I have a feeling that
Oh, I
might be
don't know.
right.
Could be.
I have a feeling that there was a house quite near where my parents lived, which he lived in. Might be wrong. I'll go back and Wikipedia it later.
Stay tuned. We'll look it up.
Is there anything else you wanted? Any more TV? Before I interrupt you with
No. One thing we do want is some more Z cars released. Thank you.
Please release some black and white Z cars, please.
Yes, because
Okay, I'll do that.
just release them from your body.
It's me. Yet
But yeah, we have to plug David Brunt's Z-Cars books, which are superb. But every time we read one, we think, "Oh, I wish I could see this."
Well, that's mostly because a lot of them don't.
Well, I was going to say, sort of Z-Cars is pretty patchy in the archives, like so many things, but there's still a lot that we haven't seen.
Yeah,
So,
a lot we'd like to see.
a lot of early ones with Brian Blessed getting wet.
Yeah, probably
There
gets wet in every
there was a
single
running joke
episode of
that
Series
Brian
1.
Blessed gets wet each week when it starts off.
Could have had a spin-off program.
And we watched an episode of Dixon of Dock Green on YouTube where they go to France. I think they can actually go to France.
They filmed in France,
filmed in
but
France,
not with a microphone. So it's a load of silent footage of French locations, and then
with French music over the
with
top.
French music, and then Dixon doing a voiceover explaining what you're watching.
And there's another episode where his daughter gets married and he sings.
Oh, he suddenly does a song and dance routine.
He doesn't do a dance routine.
Well, no,
He does a song routine.
but because of course he was a bit of a singer in
And
his
light
day.
entertainment veteran.
But yeah, how can we crowbar a song into this? You know.
But that's another series that you could bring back, Dixon of Dock Green, set it in the 50s.
It was done on radio with Tennant and
David Calder.
yeah.
Yeah. And then when Tennant went off to be Doctor Who, it was Hamish McCall, I think. It was just written the Dead Zone film, which was also silly.
It all joins up, you know.
Yeah, it does.
But before we have to bid you farewell,
Adieu.
I just like to ask you what it feels like to be fictional characters in one of my books. Do you mind being fictionalised? Well, you sort of fictionalised yourself.
Well,
haven't
we exist in. It's this. A lot of stuff that we've done has been vaguely familiar versions of ourselves, mainly because it's a bit easier to write. Because we've done. No, I've got this right. We've played ourselves in Sutton Park.
Yeah.
I've played Mr. Trowbridge, and you were just
me.
You were just Lisa. Did
Yes.
you? You did act. You were Lisa Parker, were you?
I suppose so. I don't think I ever had a surname.
Yeah, and it's clearly based on us, but tweaked a bit, so that's quite easy. Our own stuff that we've done between us, we've either been Troby and Lisa, which are close to us, or Toby and Lucy, which is hardly distinguishable. But then you've used us. But have you changed our names?
Well, I've made you sort of Mr. Trowbridge and or Andrew and Lisa, rather because I'd already got a Lucy in one of the things, so that would be confusing if I'd had you as Toby and Lucy.
It all sort of shades into one after a while. I mean, anything sort of slightly mad scientisty, I'm quite happy to.
But you're more in my scripts. You're more. You don't really know any of the other characters, so you're not. You're a little bit different with them. Maybe more authority figures to start with, at least. Anyway. So it's a bit different again.
Yeah, but as I said to you at the bar, I'm a bit of an old tart, and I don't mind what people do with me. Really, that I'm quite egotistical enough that if you want to use me, please do. So as I said, it's sort of got to the point now where you're not quite sure if you're in something at any one point. That I might be doing that. I don't really know, but I don't mind. As long as nobody writes me hate mail, I don't really care what people do.
Well, your seasons won't be out till next year, but because I've got to edit them, and I have a release schedule.
Oh, good lord! A schedule.
So anyway, thank you very much for speaking to me.
Thank you for. I was going to say having us, but it's nice to be had.
Yes, thank you. And I'm sure we'll speak to you again soon.
Okay, see you soon. Then.
Hello, it's me, Yeti Uncle John. I heard they were recording an interview at this pub today, and Paul was here. Mr. Yeti, my nephew, and I don't know where he's gone, but there's these two people sitting at this table here who I think were the interviewee people. Hello, I'm Yeti Uncle John. Hello.
Good morning.
I hear you were you being interviewed? What's happened to Paul? Is he gone?
I think he's gone to the excuse me.
Is that what the sirens were about?
Well, I think they've dragged him off, kicking and screaming. But we'll have to put the bail up again. You know how it goes.
Did I ever tell you the story about when he wet the bed?
His bed, your own bed, or just
a random bed?
Just a random bed in a shop somewhere.
I don't. You won't tell anyone, will you?
We have a fee, but yes or no, depending on which is the higher fee.
So you're being interviewed, are you? You were being interviewed. Was it good interviewing?
Was it good interviewing?
It was quite a good interview.
Well, I said some words, and you said some words, and he recorded them, and then it stopped. So
can I get your autographs, please?
Certainly. Whose autograph would you like? My own, or should I?
If you could pretend to be.
I'll pretend to be Lisa.
Yes.
And I'll pretend to be Andrew.
You might need the beard for that.
Yeah.
But,
can you also sign one from Elvis Presley as well, please?
Elvis Presley. Oh, I've heard of him. He's a jailbird or something, isn't he?
Nothing like a hound dog.
Well, how would he hold the pen? Okay. Has he got real gripping hands? Have you ever met Real Gripping Hands? He's a wonderful German. Well, I'll sign anything.
Okay.
Just give me your anything and I'll sign it.
It's a privilege to meet you.
Well, yes, I would. But then sometimes I wouldn't.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to go.
Go on before you can.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was good fun to catch up.
We always listening to the Shy Life, what's that say? Podcast. Thank you very much.
I agree.
Always listening. We're always listening to the Shy Life podcast. Oh yeah.
This is true. We always listen to this. What's
Shy Life Podcast.
Shy Life Podcast.
Hello, my dear. We always listen to the Shy Life Podcast because it makes wonderful pictures in my head. Sorry.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.